This week on The Gun Room, we're taking a new look at an old rifle and try to figure out whether or not the caliber conversions introduced for the Bushmaster ACR actually going to save the platform. Now, when Bushmaster introduced the ACR a decade ago, one of the things that was touted that would advance it to the front of the pack was, of course, its modularity. Even more modularity than the AR. Now, the company didn't actually follow through on that for almost a decade. And now we have, however, 450 Bushmaster conversion, a 10.5-inch 5.56, and a 6.8 SPC, which I chopped down in order to take full advantage of the cartridge. Now, this is one of the earlier Bushmaster ACRs. It's a 3-digit serial number that I acquired pretty much when it first was available to the public. And straight away, I went and SBR'd it, filed a Form 1, and took full advantage of the modularity of the platform. Now, there have also been some additional advances in the last couple of years. For example, Bushmaster have introduced a new handguard for it, and this one has a Midwest Industries handguard also. Is the sum of the parts good enough to save this from oblivion? Let's put it together, try the different components, and find out. Now, in order to swap barrels on the ACR, all you're going to do is prove the weapon clear, and then you are going to punch out the pin on the handguard. Take the handguard off, unlock the bolt, and out comes your barrel. So I can swap from a 16-inch 5.56 barrel to a 10.5-inch SBR. So just ratchet that up, and because we've gone to a shorter gas system, I'm also going to use a shorter handguard. This is one that Bushmaster introduced this year. So I'm just going to pop that into place, snap the pins, and we're off to the races. Now, does it work? I guess we're going to take the range and find out. Okay, this is a M193 ball from IMI, so good ammo. And right off the bat, we've got a stoppage. So this is a double feed induced by a stovepipe. So it looks like the barrel might be a little undergassed. Try again. So far, so good. Okay, so we had a couple of stoppages in that magazine. And looking at the ejected cases, it does look like there's a little bit of an undergas situation with this barrel. Now, I have not shot this suppressed yet, and it might change things up when we put a little bit more back pressure in it. But so far, yeah, not too impressed with that one. I'm going to swap in the 16-inch Carbine Barrel and see if we get the same results. Alright, so a 16-inch barrel with more dwell time seems to be doing a lot better than the shorter counterpart. I'm going to swap in the 6.8 barrel, and because we're in Texas, we're going to take it hog hunting. Bushmaster ACR is kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place because people aren't going to buy it because there's no factory support, and the factories aren't going to support it because people aren't buying it. So, you know, what are we going to do? I mean, I like the gun. I think it's got a lot of potential. It's got full ambient controls. It's got a great folding stock. It's superbly accurate for a piston gun. But at $2,000, I don't know, it's a tough sell. $1,500, which was the original MSRP when Bushmaster was first touting it, then yeah, I'd be all over it. Right now, it's a tough sell. It might be just what you need. It might check all the boxes that you need for a multi-caliber weapon platform. Ultimately, the market is going to decide, and we'll see in the next few years as to whether or not it continues to bump along being a somewhat viable platform, or whether or not it takes off like a rocket. Check around, we'll be there to report on it if it does.